Right, good morning, everybody. We're going to make a start. Welcome to the 2024 Employment and Skills Convention. I'm sorry to interrupt all your chatting. There'll be plenty more time for that today. Fear not. It's a pleasure to welcome you here. It's great to be back in Birmingham in the West Midlands, the home region of Jude Bellingham. That may be relevant later. That's not the last gratuitous reference I'm going to shoehorn in. So we're really pleased to be back here. Just a few little bits of housekeeping. So we're not expecting any fire tests. So if the fire alarm does go off, please follow the green signs out to the exits. Please pop your mobile phones onto silent, if you would, please. But if you're on Twitter, it does say Twitter here, not X. I'm sticking with that. If you are on Twitter, please do tweet away using the hashtag EmpSkills24, which is, there you go, it's printed on this set. So please do tweet away using that. A big thank you to the sponsors of the convention who have allowed this event to happen. So in particular, a big thanks to the lead sponsor, Maximus, and also to the convention sponsors, Clarion Futures, the Youth Futures Foundation, City and Guilds, and Edge Foundation. Also, I said there's plenty of time for networking during the course of the day. Please do make sure you visit the exhibition hall, which I believe is behind this wall here, just round the corner. Go and talk to the exhibitors, and also explore our housing zone, which is new for this year and is hosted in partnership with Communities That Work and sponsored by ABRI and SNG. And thanks to ABRI as well for sponsoring the, I was going to say drinks reception. It's officially a networking reception, it says here. That's your prize for getting through the full day. So that's the thank yous, that's the housekeeping, that's the social media request. Very quick word from me about the context for today. So we have a new government as of last week, and they've committed to trying to increase employment up to an 80% employment rate. We'll be talking about that today, and also to reform and improve the skills system within England, and also said that they want to do all of these things through more devolution within England and across the United Kingdom as well. So there's lots of really big themes about joining up work, health and skills, about devolution, about what all of these policies should look like, how we deliver change across the UK. So that's the context for today. We'll be picking up all of those issues. But to start with, I just wanted to introduce the Managing Director for Citizen Services at Maximus, our lead sponsor for today, up to the stage just to say a few words. So please welcome Gareth Parry.
Stephen, absolutely delighted to be able to support today's event, and congratulations to Stephen and the team for the amazing foresight of picking the date just a few days after a general election. I don't know how many of your team put a bet on it, but probably shouldn't go there. So delighted to be here. I think everybody have a fantastic day. For those of you who don't know, Maximus are a GB-wide organisation delivering employment skills and community health programmes. If you'd like to know a bit more about what we do, please come and see us. And of course, all the other exhibitors in the exhibit hall, some great exhibitors here today. We'd love to talk to you. We're big on partnership and really keen to work with as many people and organisations as we possibly can. There's lots to talk about today. It's a really exciting agenda. There's lots of opportunity ahead. The workshops look fantastic, so really looking forward to getting involved in them. Of course, at the heart of everything we all do in this room is the service user. So just to kick off today's conference, we've just prepared a very short video for you.
I just feel like my old self again.
I'm very proud of what I've managed to achieve. I feel much more positive in myself.
I really enjoyed these sessions is because it helps me to improve my self-confidence and my enthusiasm.
I'm really happy here and I can build my life.
I'm loving every moment of it. And I'm feeling that I can give something back.
I do a job that I absolutely love. They gave me my life back.
I like my job because every day I meet new people. It's very helpful for me.
I was able to turn my life around, and it feels really nice to be happy again.
Working is definitely better than sitting at home. But so far for me, it's the best feeling.
I found a job. My life's never been better. Now it's like a new burst of life. I'm a new person. I can walk in that I can go on holidays now. I'm so happy.
I cried at every rejection that I had, because it was like, I know I could do it, but it was that chance that I needed. It was the opportunity, and this is where Maximus helped me with it, because they gave me that opportunity that nobody else would.
Great, thank you, Gareth. And I spend a lot of time talking about facts and figures, so it's really helpful to have that video and the stories of how the services that everyone in this room provides is all about changing people's lives, so we must never forget that. Also, for the avoidance of doubt, I had no inside information on the scheduling of the election, and certainly would never have placed a bet on such a thing, because basic standards of integrity matter, and also I thought it was December. Right, without further ado, I mentioned that one of the priorities of the new government is around devolution and the role that local leadership can play in improving employment and skills opportunities. So I can't think of a better person to kick off with our first keynote address than the Mayor of the West Midlands, Richard Parker.
Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here today at the Employment and Skills Convention 2024. The world of work is changing, and it's changing rapidly. And this year's convention, for that reason, is more important than ever. And we're here today to explore new solutions, and new solutions that we need, and we need to deliver if we're going to ensure that everyone can get on, everyone in this region can get ahead, and everyone in this region can thrive in what is a rapidly evolving landscape. And what better place, well, there couldn't be a better place to launch this convention today than the West Midlands. The West Midlands is a place, many of you know, is a place of opportunity where thousands of people have come to live, learn and work and do business. It's a region where I built my career, starting almost 40 years ago. And I was someone that initially left school at 16 in a very working class part of Bristol, with a few decent O-levels, but if it wasn't for someone I worked with who showed an interest in me and mentored me and encouraged me to go back and study A-levels, I wouldn't have been doing what I'm doing today, and I wouldn't have built the career that I have done today. And I know from my own personal experience how much training, access to opportunity makes and can make a difference to people's lives. And that has driven my interest in politics, in training and skills throughout my life. And it was the West Midlands that gave me the chance to get on in life. I qualified as an accountant, not because I wanted to be an accountant, but I just thought a professional qualification would give me choices. And choices are one of the biggest privileges any of us can have. And there were certainly choices weren't available to the people that I grew up with in Shirehampton and Bristol. And I want to ensure that everyone in this region has the opportunities and the potential to explore the choices that I had in life. Too many of those choices aren't available to young people across the West Midlands today, and whilst youth unemployment is a national issue, it blights the lives of too many people in this region. Across the West Midlands, we have twice as many young people out of work than the national average, and in some parts of the region, those figures are even worse than that. And whilst the impact of youth unemployment are very real. It's a human impact of unemployment that concerns me most across the region. Youth unemployment limits opportunity, it suffocates aspiration, and it blights lives. It hinders people getting decent wages and developing their careers across this region. It holds our young people back. It impacts their ability to get on the housing ladder, to build families, and it prevents businesses from growing and thriving across this region, because we have too many businesses in this region that can't get access to the skills and the young people that they need if they're going to thrive too. And the knock-on effect of youth unemployment lasts for generations, and too many of our communities it's become embedded over the last 40 or 50 years since we deindustrialised. The West Midlands deserves better, and that's why I'm standing on this platform today to drive forward a programme of developing and investing in young people and helping young people get back into work. The West Midlands needs to be a place where young people particularly have access to good quality jobs and can access the support they need to deliver and lead lives that are confident and they're well prepared for the life of work and the ability to build their careers here. But if we're to do that, change is needed, and we need to start to make that change from today. I'll tell you about Jake, a 21-year-old I met recently who has been on one of our programs, and his story is all too common. He was a full-time carer for his mum from the age of 13, and he left school with just one GCSE. And the video I think we're about to show sets out how the opportunities I want to develop can change people's lives and give them opportunities that would previously be not available to them.
Jake cared for his mum from a young age, which meant he was in and out of the schooling system. After his mum had passed away, Jake was motivated to return to learning.
I know the importance that learning has on a person, and to also get more knowledge and understanding to help me out with life in the future.
The SWAT programme at Sandwell and West Birmingham NHS Trust was for ward service officers, and we combined a programme with Sandwell College, which is general cleaning around the hospital, so making sure that the patient areas are clean and tidy, that stocks are replenished.
Once I'd finished the 3-week swab course, I got a guaranteed job interview, and they loved me so much that before I even got home, they called me to say I had the job.
Jake has come to speak at our trust board about his journey and the difference being in employment has made to his life. To see that difference from when he first came from being referred from the job centre to where he is now is just amazing.
My goals in the future would be to work for the blood and transplant service on the motorbikes. I'd like to know that I'm out there helping people, so knowing that, it would make me feel amazing.
I met Jake again a bit earlier this morning. There are too many people like Jake in this region, and I want all young people to have the opportunities like Jake has had. And that's why today I'm setting out my West Midlands Youth Plan. This initiative will offer every young person support with getting a job, training, or an apprenticeship. It builds on the new Labour government's commitment to bring forward a youth guarantee. It will help reduce the number of young people across the country who are not learning or earning. I will also work with local authorities across the West Midlands, leading the way in delivering an ambitious plan for our young people. Access to training can have a transformational impact on people's lives, just like Jake's. Our youth plan has an initial focus on skills and employment. It includes a dedicated work coach to support young people who are out of work, pre-employment training in the region's fastest growing sectors and green skills with a guaranteed interview, fully funded training up to level 3 to give young people qualifications needed for work. It will give young people access to mental and physical health support, including therapies, well-being support, as well as investment in skills support. And we'll also offer a range of support services to our existing youth hubs, including debt and careers advice. I'm also more importantly and equally importantly, launching my pledge to open up 20,000 new training places and work placements in businesses across the region. We need to not only invest in the skills that young people need, but also give them access to the opportunities in the workplaces that can truly transform their lives. But this is just a start. And it's certainly over the medium to long term and the life of the next 4 years going to be more than just about skills and jobs. We need a complete overhaul in the way we face up to the issues of youth unemployment. I'll be partnering with councils, government and businesses and skills providers so we better equip young people with the skills they need to have a successful life in the West Midlands. I'll start now, as I've said before, working with businesses and our local authorities to grow our training and apprenticeship programmes so our young people can have the access they need to the skills, as I said, that will give them better jobs and better paid jobs. In my manifesto, I committed to guaranteeing a high-quality apprenticeship for every young person in this region. The West Midlands Combined Authority has been leading on this already and getting people and young people ready for work and giving them the support and training support they need. The fantastic, and I'm really, really proud of this programme, a Path to Apprenticeship programme, which was launched shortly after I got into office, gives young people access to skills that businesses are looking for, gets them ready to start work, and is giving them access to apprenticeships at level 2 or 3, with opportunities available in a variety of fields. And this morning, I was just across the road at Glasswater Lock on the Berkeley Homes programme, looking at the great work they're doing, supporting that programme, helping young people that have left school, in most cases with little or no qualifications, get access to apprenticeships. Those people haven't had a first chance in life, let a second chance. So these programmes are being truly transformational. And the young people I met today have inspired me, and I'd like to work with them in the years ahead, take them back into schools to just demonstrate that what possibilities are available to the young people who live in the places those people I met this morning come from. So this morning at Glasswater Locks, we were on a programme and supporting a programme that's been led by the Berkeley Group, a property developer you may know of, that partners with the Skills Centre in Birmingham to train young people in the construction industry. I think this collaboration is a model, and a model I'd like to see rolled out across the West Midlands as quickly as possible. And that's why employer engagement is so important, and I think employers need to understand not just the role that young people can play in building their businesses, but also the obligations those businesses have to supporting the development of young people across the West Midlands. The Combined Authority is doing more than that. It's supporting some other fantastic programmes too. And I'll just go back to the Path to Apprenticeship programme though. The 7.5 million we've got is going to hopefully support 3,500 new people or young people getting to work into apprenticeships over the next 3 years. And I want to work with the Labour government to look at ways we can roll out that programme, deepen its impact and give more young people the opportunities that those that are currently on the programme are getting. The plan's ambitious, but it is deliverable, and delivery is absolutely the heart of my programme at the Combined Authority. The initial phase we can deliver without additional government funding. It's about working differently, it's about working cross-sector and working with the key stakeholders across the region. And if we do that better, if we partner more effectively, if we collaborate more effectively, we can make the biggest difference to young people and their prospects across this region, and certainly a bigger difference than anyone else has made over the last 20 or 30 years. And that's where I'll be meeting businesses, convening with employers across the region to get their support to start to work with me to offer these opportunities, these 20,000 opportunities to our young people, and particularly by providing placement and training opportunities and those paths to apprenticeships that I want our young people to access to. But this is just the beginning, as I said. If we're going to tackle youth unemployment, we need a range of measures in place. We need to look at ways we can enhance the transport system, and particularly a bus network, so young people can get not just to college or work, but can get around this region cheaper too. And certainly there are young people in parts of this region that can't access job opportunities because there's not a transport system that allows them to get from where they live to where their jobs are. I'd like this West Midlands to be a role model, an exemplar that demonstrates to national government how we're tackling and taking on the challenge of youth unemployment. And over the last few weeks, I've been talking to Bridget Phillipson and Liz Kendall about the work we're doing here, and I'm pleased to say they're really keen to support these initiatives and work with us and all of us in this room so we can make the impact that I want. And that's important because we not need to use these programs to address the inequalities that I've said that blight the lives of too many people. But if we invest in our youth in the right way, as you all know, we're also investing in our future. And if we're to ensure the West Midlands reach its full potential, we truly need our young people to play their full and biggest part in that. And if we're going to give this region and our young people a chance to thrive, we need to build a future for everyone, and particularly for me, those young people that come from our most disadvantaged communities that have been locked out of the benefits of economic growth and for too long have been facing a life of low pay and suffering all the anxieties and vulnerabilities that go with that. So if we can work together, and I look forward to working with you together, we can change people's lives here, make a big difference, grow our economy, and give everyone, young person in this region, the chance and opportunity to succeed and thrive here. Thank you.
Please grab a seat. Fabulous. Thank you, Richard. And we've got a bit of time for questions. I know you have to get off at 22, so I'll be getting increasingly anxious looks from your officials if I try and overrun at all, so I won't do that, I promise. I'm going to take Chair's prerogative to ask the first question, but please kind of get your questions percolating away, and we want to see a field of hands in a minute. So let me start. So I was really pleased to hear you talk about your youth plan that you've launched today. And we know that youth unemployment is too high, full stop, and higher in the West Midlands than nationally. One of the things you talked about was apprenticeships, and I think one of the things that's gone wrong with the previous government's apprenticeship programme is that apprenticeship levy payers have spent more and more and more of their levy on higher level training, sometimes management training, for people well over the age of 25, in many cases who've been in their job for years and years, at the expense of young people starting out. So could you just say a little bit more, you talked about this, but a little bit more about how you can work with employers to get that to change?
Yeah, so the whole point of, it's just, just a pity that the general election has stopped us doing some of these things I announced today earlier, the PERDA period, but we're really, really clear about what the priorities are for us, and not just myself as the mayor, but I work really closely with the council leaders, and we met 2 Fridays ago, and there was a region-wide commitment from the council leaders as well as myself about addressing this issue. And our role and responsibility as leaders is to take the message that I've outlined today to employers across the region, and I think they've got, as much as we have, an obligation to address those fault lines that stop young people making most of themselves here. And we need to refocus our effort on addressing those issues. We cannot make this region a more competitive place to do business. We cannot grow our economy. We cannot address some of the productivity issues we've got in this region unless we get young people into employment and into better paid jobs. And that's the biggest way we can transform this region. It's why it's such a priority for me. And we'll be discussing with business going forward the role that I want them to play, and indeed I expect them to play in joining us on that journey and addressing these issues.
Fabulous. Thank you. Now, who would like to ask the Mayor a question? We have some roving mics that will come around when some hands appear. Yes, so we'll take 2 questions together because of time. So we've got one in the middle and one on the right there, please. And if you could just say who you are as well before asking your question.
Good morning, Mark Cousins from Cousins Consulting, Bidwin.ai. Congratulations on your new appointment, Metro Mayor. Just wanted to, it might be a bit of a tricky question, but something I've been wrestling with a little bit is whether or not we ought to have an apprenticeship for employability, an employability ship, or whether employability should be something that is just wrapped up in other qualifications and courses and intrinsic to them, or maybe both.
Great. Thanks, Mark. And we'll take the second question over here.
Yeah, hi Richard. I'm Andrew Cooper from Sovereign Network Group. We're a housing association. Just interested in your perspective on how employment support providers and housing associations could work a bit more joined up with combined authorities around their employment support, where sometimes the short-term nature of funding or changing priorities can make that a bit difficult, but just be interested in your vision.
Fabulous, thank you. Well, let's take those two. So one question about those employability skills that everyone needs and how you deliver those, and then a second one about working with housing associations.
Yeah, so I agree with you 100% about employability. It's not just giving people the qualifications or the training they need, it's about the support and preparing them for the workplace. And for lots of people, I've been talking about today in the My Focus, they need quite a lot of support. Many of them will not know people around them that are in work. They will not know what work expects of them, what their obligations are, or what the work environment is like. So I'm hoping that some of the programs I've outlined about working with employers to give young people access to training opportunities and those placements is part of that. But we do need to do more. And my conversation a couple of Fridays ago with Liz Kendall before the general election was on the back of her announcements around employability, and I'll be having further discussions with her about the opportunities for more employment support funding and career support funding to be devolved to this region. And if we have that or more of that devolved, I think we can better target it to the places where it will have a bigger impact. We know what difference it can make to young people's lives. The young people I met this morning, it's transformed them in terms of their self-belief, their confidence, their self-esteem, and they're thoroughly enjoying work. But for many of them, they're the first person in their family for 2 or 3 generations to have worked. So we understand the importance of those issues. On the second issue, which was around funding, I am hoping that we'll soon have something called a single settlement of a trailblazer deal in the West Midlands that will help us get more certainty and more security over funding for several years ahead, and will give us some flexibility to redirect resources into areas that are a bigger priority for us. And I was really pleased Darren Jones messaged me at the weekend, the new Chief Secretary to the Treasury, and he just outlined to me that the top of his agenda is moving these funding settlements forward, which is good. Once we've got that, we can start to plan longer term and work with partners longer term. On the issue of housing associations being part of this, the only way I can succeed is by working collaboratively, and I'm not a subject matter expert. And so what I do need is people like yourselves in the room pulling together, helping and advising me on what we need to do differently and what we can do better to make what we're doing more of a success. Those of you who have read my manifesto will know about my commitment to social housing, and that's the biggest way I can have an impact on too many of the families, 20,000 families living in temporary accommodation in this region. And if we're going to redirect the housing funds into social housing, working in partnership with housing associations, I think that will create, obviously, new development and build programs. And I'm hoping those programs will be a great opportunity for housing associations to work with skills providers and others, so we can align the investment we want to make from the combined authority with creating new opportunities for our young people.
Fabulous. Always good to have the Treasury on board, so save that text. And actually a sort of joined up pot of funding for the longer term, I think would make such a difference. I'm going to squeak in one very quick last question, which builds on what you were saying there. So I think one of the challenges with getting people into work or getting people on at work is it's just really complex, and there's loads of services, there's loads of acronyms. We've got lots of people who are out of work due to health problems, and we need to join up work in health. So could you say a little bit about your vision or your view about how you, as the mayor here, can join up some of those services?
Yeah, so there are some hard powers of the mayor set out by legislation around housing, the economy, and post-19 education. The way I can make the biggest difference in this region is actually using the convening powers of the mayor, bringing key stakeholders together to work in a more collective and collaborative way. I've started to do that with the leaders of the councils that sit on my board, and that's why I was so pleased that they all agreed that this issue we're discussing today, youth unemployment and employability, is such a priority for them. The work we'll be doing going forward, working with local authorities, DWP particularly, and led by myself, is about bringing those key partners and stakeholders together so we're making the right interventions in the right way, and giving the people that are sometimes the hardest to reach the focus they need to get back to work. And I've, you know, one of the great things I've been able to do during my campaign and since is visit some of the training and skills hubs we've got that are making accessibility to the support you've talked about available to not just young people, but people of all generations that have either been out of work or want to get back into work or want to change their careers. So it is only by partnership we can do that. And certainly my first day or so in the Combined Authority, when I talked to the staff, I was really, really clear, and it underpins my approach. As a newly elected mayor in this region, working with the staff at the Combined Authority, what we can achieve on our own is negligible at best. It is about working collaboratively with the key stakeholders, and I don't expect every key stakeholder in the region, whether it's employers, businesses, housing associations, FE colleges, universities or councils, to be totally aligned with my priorities. But what is absolutely certain is the more aligned we are, the bigger the difference we can make.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. Now, I know you've got a really packed diary and schedule today, so we need to let you go. But I do want to say a massive thank you to you for coming along today, for sharing your thoughts on the youth plan and also on your vision more generally. And I know everyone in this room looks forward to working with you to help you deliver that vision. So could you please all join me with thanking the Mayor?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.